Hey everybody, welcome back to the Section 214 of Beast and Lions podcast. I am your host, Ascent, and I'm back with my two co-hosts once again. And I have so many I could have so many one-liners to say throughout this episode about how I feel about this loss that just happened. But it's going to come out over the course of time, but I'll give you one, right? It's like for one thing, this has been an incredibly cursed day.
Has been.
Yeah.
Just rotten all the way around.
Uh, for one thing, it started out. I woke up in at noon. Well, I woke up around 11 o'clock today. I was gonna be, doing something with my friend over Discord at noon, but his internet was pretty crappy. So, we immediately nixed that idea. Like, 5 minutes in, and he was like, "Ah, my internet's bad. We got to do it later." Right? Okay. Then the game happened, and that was crappy in and of itself, and we'll talk about that at length. length.
Yes.
And and in the end, I mean, it's sweet. It's sweet hours until midnight. I'm expecting an earthquake to happen at some point, and within the next 3 hours, maybe even during the recording. But before
Oh,
we
wood.
started this recording, for one thing, Jacob, you know, JS,
My
like
Wi-Fi
you,
crashed, and that was not good.
and Ben Hammer, what happened to you?
My
High pitched
my
voice.
Zoom crashed and my computer crashed. It took me like 15 minutes to get back into the call. So that's always fun. And that once happened when we were recording, so thank God it happened before.
Yeah,
Um, yeah. Also, what was cursed is I was at the game today. I got to watch, you know, crapshoot that we'll get into. So that was fun.
I'm surprised the bus you didn't like come home on a bus and it was swerving around traffic or something. Just final destination kind of stuff. Like, uh, yeah, just just a really bad day all around for all of us in different ways, right? Just but again, the one thing that unites us is how crappy this lot is in the grand scheme of things as well, because uh Uh, yeah, but I was really hoping that we would come in on a win. We'd be a lot more happier, but instead,
Yeah.
all three of us still has like steam coming out of our ears, from our heads, from how angry we were at this loss. I
Yeah.
feel like a teapot.
Yeah.
I've been wait We've been waiting for this moment to like really let loose today, and like there's not we're not holding back in this
Yeah.
on this one. Uh,
We've not had that
uh
moment because we were really happy during the halftime call. And
It
just
all
like
went
yeah.
the
down the
Lions, I mean,
toilet
that
in three
turned on its
minutes.
head.
Went
Just
down the
in
toilet just like
frustrating
that,
game.
right?
It was such a good
Um,
game, a well-played game by both teams. Honestly, if you were a neutral fan, that's a great game to watch. But we're not
you know,
neutral fans, we're BC Lions fans, and as a result, like what a rotten way to go into the bye week. Having a really strong 57 minutes
yep.
flush down the toilet by a last 3 minutes collapse, and
And the Lions have to sit on this for 2 weeks now, right?
next game is
They
not
just
until the 7th of
Thursday,
August, also against Hamilton again.
yeah, and
So we have to sit and feel bad about this for 2 weeks.
they have to go on the road to this time, right? Just to try and get a revenge. But I mean, who knows? Uh, but you mentioned that we're going to be heading in on a bye week, and for those of you who are new here, last year, when we did our first season of the podcast, for a bi-week episode, we just did just a question wheel that, we had a bunch of sports topics and just general topics, like what's your favorite movie, music genre, and all that.
It was
You know,
fun.
that was a lot of fun when we did that. Those bi-week episodes, but I unfortunately I am not a wellspring of questions. I can't really think about any more for that. So I think for this season's bi-week episode, we're gonna do something a lot different, and something that's been, all of us are excited about, at least for this time, right? Um, so in the description, you're gonna see a link to a Google form, and what that Google form is we want to have a viewer, I call it a fan interview for the bye week episode, but yeah, it's basically, you can just put your information in, and if there's a decent amount of submissions, then I'll put the names to a wheel, and then I'm going to randomly select one, and by Saturday at noon, the submissions will close, and then I'm going to do the wheel spin if we get enough submissions to select one lucky person who gets to, come on here on Zoom with us to talk with us for 20 minutes, right? And
We'd
yeah, it's gonna be
love to hear from you guys, and it'd be good to hear somebody, be good to have some new perspectives. We can learn a thing or two. I love talking to other CFL fans and learning all these wild stories and sharing their joy for this great game we all love. So we definitely want to hear from people.
yeah. I
I
mean, it
agree.
doesn't necessarily have to be from Lions fans. I mean, I'd love to hear from other CFL fans too, but I mean, of course, it's the Lions podcast, so. But if we don't get any submissions, then my contingency plan is that we get one of our fathers to come on, and we can talk to them and give them an interview. But I'm hoping that we don't have to go to that for a bit this time around. I'm just trying it out. So yeah,
Let's say at least one day we'll get our fathers on the podcast. That would be a lot of fun
That'd be
too.
fun.
absolutely. Yeah. And my father is like a wellspring of knowledge himself about the Lions and CFL for like 55 years, right? So longer than
Same with
me,
mine.
but it's ancient history now. Yeah, so yeah, in the description there's a form. I mean, it's basically, just put your name, preferred pronouns, your email contact or social media contact, and then your favorite team and uh sports you follow, and then you can also put like questions in the box, like what do you want us to ask you, at least. Doesn't have to, it can be one or three questions, but I'm also planning for the most part we just yak off, right? Just yak it off, right? Just
It's
go
all
yak
fun.
yak yak, yeah. Yeah, so yeah, and also that yeah, that interview is going to be like a section of the bye episode, right? Because it's going to be a 20-minute section of the bye episode. The next episode of the bye week episode will be a recap of an important game that's pertinent to BC. So I decided on the Sunday game between Toronto and Winnipeg, because that's like pretty much an important game for BC in terms of standings wise, right? But yeah, we're only gonna do a recap of that game. I'm not gonna go into stats for that because I'm reserving the stats for Lions games, but yeah, we're just gonna recap that game, and then the last third of that bye week episode, Jay has like a book of CFL facts that he's got hidden somewhere in his house that he's gonna dig up for us, and he can read a few from that. I just
I think that'll be definitely a fun way to share some knowledge and reflect. Like I've read this book many times. There's all sorts of wild stuff in there. So I think it'll be some good laughs, maybe some tears, but it'll be fun.
oh yeah, well, one thing about well, we've had 90% tears in this game, right? But uh yeah, I'm excited about what that bye week episode's gonna take us, right? So hopefully we hear enough from the fans of our show, just to uh see how that goes, right? But yeah, that's it for like the intro part of episode, and we're gonna get into the gut check of this loss. So yeah, this was a gut wrenching loss. I mean, I mentioned that it was a very it wasn't just a coast day, it was pretty much a coastal week, right? It started with the Wild loss and ends with this one, right? So like in the grand scheme of things, like this was another, and I said this after Winnipeg lost yesterday, like this is another chance for BC to jump over Winnipeg for third in the West, but nope, still in fourth and just rolling out the red carpet for Winnipeg to say, like, here, you take third place. We don't want it. It's how it feels, right? Yeah, sorry guys. Guess what? We mentioned it was a curse day, and immediately as I say that, Hammer's microphone gets high pitched again.
Happened
He fixed
again.
it.
It happened again. Yeah. I think
Oh,
we'll transition into me talking here if you can hear me clear enough. Um,
yes.
I was at that game and it finished off with the fans booing, and I think that was appropriate as we all agreed. That was a very tragic performance, and more specifically by
Hmm.
the defense. Bolio initially, he didn't get any pressure all games. We were letting him just throw freely, and the defensive structure was bad. So he was just throwing dimes, 10, 15-yard plays with no coverage. And it was infuriating because you could see the touchdowns. They were just, Hamilton were marching along the field easily,
Easy.
and you could see it coming in the second half. Um,
Especially the last drive. It just once they kept going 3 or 4 plays in a row, I just knew it was done. And
Yeah.
I was right, sadly.
And before we started recording, I think we came to a unanimous kind of decision. Like, we're at the point now where we're like, I've seen enough from Mike Benavidez's defense, right? I think should be gone. Like this is terrible. Like it's the
It's
one
time
D
to start calling for heads from the coaching staff, and that's what we're
from
doing.
yep,
It's our
specialty
official podcast position that Mike
yeah,
Benavides needs to go.
Mike Benavidez and the special teams coordinator needs to go, right? Because
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
it's been tragic
uh
for a while.
I think his name's Diamewit, if I'm not mistaken. Name starts with a D, but uh yeah, I mean, the offense did enough. Like, you score 33 points and nine times out of 10 you win those games, right? But
Yep.
the defense was just like so one ply, especially in that second half, where again, as you mentioned, it was just 10, 15-yard passes for conversions constantly, right? And there was just no pressure, and just the DBs and the most of the secondary is like usually getting late to the tackles, and it was just so frustrating. And then the prevent defense in the fourth quarter was just awful. And
As I said, it was so predictable, and I was there with my dad, and he was just saying every play wide open. Watch the highlights. Like every play, a Hamilton receiver was wide open, and it was a defensive structure issue. They didn't adapt. Um, there were too many passengers on defense, but I don't think it was really up to them. It was all structure, and it's been happening since last year. Something needs to change.
something needs to, yeah. I mean, it's a different flavor of coaching staff, but the flavor is poo-poo right now.
Yeah.
And it's just a failure to, string things together at the end. I was talking to someone after the game and I said, "Oh, it was a good game for both teams." And they were happy. They said, "Oh, it was a great game." And I said, "No, we can't think of it like that. You have to hold a lead. You don't get to say, 'Oh, at least it was a good 57 minutes.' No. You play 60 minutes and the defense just the last 2 drives inside the 3-minute warning were just astoundingly bad.
Hamilton would play the full
And
60 minutes, and we didn't.
Hamilton, exactly. We checked out 3 minutes early. They did not.
Yeah, and I guess one more thing before we get into like the stats of this loss, and the very shocking stats. But just one more thing. I'm wearing this shirt because I felt like the team, the offense did pretty good, right? But like it was a close loss, but it was a very heartbreaking loss. The X is on my heart. Like it was like a heart shot, like ow, right there, right in the
I just want to
chest,
say
right?
one more thing too, because the shot is also in my heart. That's 3 straight years that we've had a heartbreaking home loss to Hamilton. Choked
Yeah,
this year. Last year, we also had a choke in the fourth quarter. I was with you, Jacob. Year before, also was with you, Jacob. We were first in the division, and Hamilton were not a good team. I can't remember all
We got
specifics, but we
completely
lost that game.
demolished by
We
like
did.
30 points or something. I
yeah, and
was horribly
Wimes.
mad.
That was the Wimes game where he couldn't. He tried to go for a touchdown, but didn't like stop, right? Just
I don't
uh,
think it was, but I remember that was a pretty disastrous special teams game. And
oh
yesterday I was on the SkyTrain and I ran into a Tiger Cats fan, and we were basically like we were both kind of trash talking our own teams because we're like, oh, no way we win this one.
yeah, yeah.
Um, and he was like, oh, Tiger Cats are on a win streak. They're probably not going to win this one. And I'm like, well, we never
Mm.
beat you. But it's the way the
Well,
season's been going.
all of the whole, well, actually, I think I remember in the fourth quarter, TSM put up a bunch of results for Hamilton and BC, and like nearly every game that we play against Hamilton at home since like 2017 have been close games, and now like 4 out of 6 of those games have been won by Hamilton, and with like tight deficits, right, under 5 points, right. So, and I mentioned that I'm willing to the Under Armour shirt, but I'm going there. This is how I feel right now. The way the season's going, and if you're a
Yeah.
baseball fan, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Couldn't
Because
relate as a Blue Jays fan.
oh yeah, I wish I wish I had like a fraction of those wins, but I mean
Yeah.
they might get them. They're going to be playing the Blue Jays like tomorrow, and I'm
We
instantly
are.
I am expecting them to get destroyed in that series, right? Uh, just not a good time to be a fan of orange sports teams right now. Uh, yeah, we're down to 3-5, but I mean, yeah, uh, I'm just gonna head on over to talking about the stats real quick.
That's
Yeah, the stats and yeah, I mean, unlike the last game where the offense was like doing pretty much jack all against
mm,
Saskatchewan. But the defense remains like, we're not getting pressure on the quarterback. It was Harris last week, and it's Bo Levi Mitchell this week. But uh, yeah, yeah. So for the offense, Work went 20 for 27 for 289 yards. Surprisingly, like no passing touchdowns, no interceptions.
mm.
10.7 average per throw, and his longest throw was the 73-yard bomb to Hatcher in the third, I believe it was. Uh, yeah, so yeah, I thought Work did a lot better in this game. Right, I mean, completion percentage wise, and obviously, like all over the place, he was better. But again, we're gonna get to like the one time we needed the offense to go up the field when they failed, right? And that's what we're gonna remember it for, right? And Work also tacked on 4 rushes for 34 yards, and he averaged like 8.5 a carry, and actually a 21-yard rush was his longest. So yeah,
He was
again,
he was good, all things considered. I was pretty happy with him.
yeah, I'm not gonna blame the offense like too much for this loss, right? Because again, they
No,
scored 30 plus points, right? Like you should win a lot of games with that way. And
absolutely.
yeah, Masoli gets a short yardage touchdown as the backup QB, and that's the one of 3 touchdowns we got in the game. Butler, man, we wasted another great Butler game. Wentz had 16 carries for 115 yards, 2 touchdowns, and that was like in the first half, right? Like he was
Mm.
actually no, the first quarter, which is even more mind-boggling. Like we had a good first quarter. Butler was like we were thinking this is Butler's revenge game against Hamilton, right? Because he got caught from them like after
You almost
last year.
forget that
But
we were up 14-3 at one point.
yeah,
So
with
We were
Butler,
ahead virtually the whole game until the last 16 seconds. No, yeah, until the last 16 seconds, Hamilton never led at all until right at the end when it counted, and that's the frustrating part. Is just
yeah. And again, like I said, with Butler having like going back to having a pretty good game after a disappointing past couple games, like 7.2 on average per run, and then the 23-yard one was longest. I thought it was funny where he also had like the one catch for -1 yard. Just
might as well
anti-evil
add that
hope,
in.
the anti-evil hope in a sense. But yeah, I also added not often you hear about fullbacks in the CFL and NFL anymore, so I wanted to shutout Pickett, getting like 2 catches for 11 yards, right? Fullback is one of my favorite utility positions for a football team, right? With a throwback kind of thing, right? Well, uh, fullbacks used to be kings, kings of like Hall of Fame credentials and stuff like that for in like the 90s and 2000s, right? But yeah, now they're kind of reduced to just like, oh hey, there's a fullback. Um, yeah. Anyways, reminiscing about fullback in the 2000s side, go to receivers. Hatcher had a really good game in this one. Again, had that 73-yard catch being his longest, right? Oh no, yeah, it was because but uh, he had 5 catches on 5 targets for 117 yards and no touchdowns.
Yeah,
And
good game.
I think I might have, yeah, I might have flipped the. I
For
mean,
that 73 yarder, he ran into acres of space. I couldn't believe. I thought it was
go 20.
deceiving me, running the opposite direction or something, because he had the whole field to run, and he
That was an
dodged a
incredible
tackle.
play.
It was.
Yeah, I think yeah, that long like I remember watching a game this week. I can't remember which it was, but I do remember seeing TSN throw up another stat where a lot of the time when drives have like a long shot, like a long play involved in it, a lot of times it involves touchdowns, right? And I thought that was going to end in a touchdown, but didn't. But yeah, Hatcher had a great game. Aberhart, he's back to being the main man receiver. Especially he had 2 catches on 2 targets for 58 yards and a 43-yard pass was his longest. So yeah, it was like 29.
If
Right.
anyone was at
So
the game, you might have heard me from section 214 yelling, "Throw it to Aberhart" at one point, because he had no targets, and then when he did, it was a 43-yard bomb to the 2-yard line.
the
So
2 yard line, yeah.
give him more targets.
give him give him more targets. I mean, it's fun
Yes.
him being a meme man, but I mean, like, we want to see 6 targets, not 2 constantly. Or like he had the clutch. Give it to him
He's a
more often,
serious
right?
player.
uh yeah, and then Billy Hill also had a decent game. He had 4 catches on 5 targets, 43 yards, 10.8 average, like no touchdown. Like none of the receivers got touchdowns. I mean, obviously because Warwick had no passing touchdowns, but yeah, 25 yards was his longest catch. Katoy had 4 catches and 6 targets for 38 yards, 9.5 average, and 13 was his longest. And uh, I'm stunned that McInnes for 3 straight games now he's had low stat totals again. Right, he's been invisible for a while.
Yeah.
He's only had 2 catches. Well, in this game, he only had 2 catches on 4 targets for 23 yards and 5.5 average, and 7 was hunger. Like, I mean, like, what happened to a MOP candidate from last year? Right? It's
Imagine if he shot up just a little more at some point in the fourth quarter, would have been nice.
yeah, it's just uh I mean, I think he's due for a breakout game at some point, but again, I'm hoping like this is not a trend. What this is a short trend, not a long term one, right? Because it's kind of strange how it's been 3 games now. We've had low yardage totals and everything, right? Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there, but yeah. Anyways, yeah, but defense. I mean, we've already complained about how one play the defense was, but yeah, again, they had no sacks, right? No pressure, right? So no sack, not required. Uh, one interception, and I don't do this often, but I put Carter Jr.'s name in all bold, all caps for that one, and you're gonna see why we put that in bold. Like that's one of the greatest interceptions I think I've ever seen the team make
I could
in my
not,
life. Right?
could not believe my eyes.
Yeah. We'll get to that, but yeah, then we got like the 2 fumbles, which is also 2 fumbles and one in the first quarter. I think, yeah, one in the fourth, like late in the game. So it was the two fumbles we had were very impactful parts of the game that usually should suggest that we win this one. But again, it's just and no turnover on
We,
downs as well.
we
And
had so much going in our favor. It's tough to
and
think about.
and also on the zero turnover on downs, there was a couple points in the fourth quarter where there could have been, especially like there could have been like a turnover on down, but penalty does, makes the drive survive for Hamilton, right? Uh, I don't think penalties was like, well, penalties was the and the missed call was definitely a big factor in the fourth quarter, but like overall was mm, yeah. Anyways, yeah, for our defensive backs, I mean, Alway had the 10 tackles. Carter, he added on to that amazing interception with 6 tackles, and then the rest of the team got less than 4. So yeah, always had like high tackle counts, but again, it's just you're making that many tackles. I mean, it kind of doesn't matter if like the Hamilton offense is constantly gashing the secondary 10, 15 yards every time, like the passes. Yeah, and I'm gonna get to the special teams to round out BC stats. So Sean White, perfect A+ at all. He gets to 30 straight
Always.
field goals. So he's got 41, 4 for 4 on field goals. So he got the 30 straight, and then 3 for 3 on extra points.
I'm pretty
Then
sure
he
the
never,
announcer at BC Place called him Mr. Automatic at one point. So shout out to him.
yeah, and he even made like one field goal from beyond the 40, which was like it was easy for him. Like I'm not stressed. Yeah, and then yeah, so nothing to complain about for Sean White, but you've watched our show. If you've watched our show for long enough, it gets worse from here. Uh Meyer, the punter, he's had 4 punts, averaging 51 yards per punt. No inside the 10 punts include, but I wanted to include he made a tackle, but it was actually a very
He
important
did.
tackle, right? Because he actually prevented a kickoff. Oh no, a punt return for a touchdown, right? Uh, if he had got there, if the
But only
broadcast
4
mentioned
punts
that,
in the
right?
whole game. That's if you only punt during the game 4 times, you should win that game most of the time. But that's not what happened today.
No, and I think we're gonna get to like I guess one of the main pillars of our complaints, and again I mentioned that it gets worse for the special team from New York. I think Hamilton special teams was like leagues above ours, which is easy to do, right? And
Yeah.
yeah, and Seven McGee here. I said before the recording, you guys are gonna laugh at how many sevens are gonna be involved in this one because he had 7 return catches on special teams, so 2 punt returns and 5 kickoff returns for a total of 124 yards, so 110 yards for kickoffs, and only 14 yards for punt returns.
Are you
That's
kidding
7
me?
times 2. That's 7 times 2, 14, right? And he averaged 22 on kickoffs, and his longest kickoff return was 31. So it's 31 yards for a kickoff return. That was like his best. uh,
Karen Williams regen.
and he averaged well, yeah, because he only had 14 yards. Yeah, he not only that 7 times 2, but he averaged like 7 yards for punt returns for the longest of 9, right? So just all sorts of
Brutal.
7s for Seven McGee, except for touchdowns, right? Just story of our lives this year and the year past, right? And just uh I feel gross just talking about. Well,
Yeah, I agree.
it was good for the offense, but then as soon as I got to the defense, and then yeah, and then half of the special team just was feels like a broken record. Uh, yeah. Anyways, you guys, you're gonna do the Hamilton stats, and there's like one guy on the team that had an insane amount of catches. I don't think I've ever seen this for not even for a dominating win against Edmonton. I don't think I've ever seen a receiver with like that high catch totals, right? And we'll get to that number. So
Age old question, offense or defense, Jacob?
Mm, I guess I can. It doesn't matter. Why don't I read the offense? You okay with that?
Okay, go for that.
Because it's depressing. Boley Mitchell, I used to be so frustrated watching him play in the day because he would terrorize us in
When he
Calgary,
was Calgary, yeah,
now
yeah.
he's
This is
terrorizing
just
us in Hamilton. 34 for 41, 389 yards, three touchdowns and one interception. His longest was 44. Amazing game. Four carries for 23 yards rushing. His longest was 13. Just fantastic all around. And Dola Gala had one short yardage touchdown. That
in his
was,
revenge game, sort
yeah,
of. Like,
stunning. And then running backs, Greg Bell had 11 carries for 56 yards and three catches for 26 yards. So that's 90, no, 82 yards total for him. So that's a strong game. But this is the guy I want to talk about, probably the MVP of the game for the Hamilton. Keandre Smith had 14 catches when he was targeted 15 times.
14.
14.
Stunning.
14.
Amazing.
Ban him
138
from BC
yards.
Place. Never let him back in.
Yeah, I agree. 138 yards, two touchdowns, an average of almost 10 yards a catch. So just amazing.
I was gonna say,
Kept,
like you say, bought him from BC Place. I mean, good thing we only played them like once a year,
we
right?
won't
Because
see them. We won't see them again this year. So,
Point
I'm
still stands.
yeah.
Also the game winner.
oh, we won't see them at
But
BC Place at least. Tim White had six catches for 86 yards. His longest was 35.
6 for
O'Leary
6.
Orange, I don't know how we say his name. He had three catches for 63 yards, with his longest being 44. Kenny Lawler had two catches for 29 yards. Shamar Bridges had two catches for 21 yards, and Johnny Augustine two catches for 8 yards. So just spreading the offense around. Keandre Smith, he caught most of them, but everybody else helped out too, and they won. So there you go.
Yeah. Hamilton is one of the best receiving cores in the league. And Kenny Lawler, I mean, we know what he's capable of
What's
as he played in
what
Winnipeg.
I was gonna say, like, what's even more stunning about his loss is that we actually kept the main, the big time receiver Lawler to only 29 yards. Right,
Yes.
when he was torching other teams for like 100 plus every game, right? It was mind boggling. It was uh
Our defense, man,
like
it
whack a
let
mole.
they all found a seam. The defense, secondary guys, one sack by Usay and one fumble. I can't remember when that was. Um, Moxie had 5 tackles. The rest of the team had less than 4, and we've noticed this trend week after week when the team we play against has very little tackles. It's a problem. Legio, 3 for 3 on field goals, 4 for 4 on extra points. Constantino, 2 punts, only 2 punts, averaging 44 yards. Longest punt being 55.
And I
I thought
think,
he was,
and I was gonna say, like that Saskatchewan game, I think Hamilton's only the first part of the game was also in like around the fourth quarter, or I think,
mm,
or late in the third at least. But
wouldn't be
yeah,
surprised. Yeah. And this is where it gets frustrating because one of the things I noticed throughout the game is that not only their running backs, but their kick returners, so the guys who run with the ball, were very good all game. Wooden Senior, 5 return catches on special teams, 3 punt returns, 2 kickoff returns for a total of 135 yards, 37 on punt returns, 98 on kickoffs, averaging 49 per kickoff, 49 per kickoff return. Uh, and
oh,
12.3 on punt returns. But man, that was infuriating. It felt like the defense was Swiss cheese. Every time there was a kick or punt return, they had good field position almost every drive. I swear they started at the 40 or the 50, and the
yeah,
only
center
drive
near
where they
center
didn't
field
have
every
good,
time. Yeah,
except for the last drive of the game where they started at 20, obviously scored the winning touchdown.
didn't matter. Still, right? That's even more frustrating. Just
Yeah.
I can feel my veins just bulging out of my head every time anytime I go over these stats, right? Just, from when I was putting them in, and now I'm like going it through with you guys. I'm like,
Yeah.
but by the end of the episode, I'm probably gonna have an aneurysm.
It's
uh,
it's funny because typically when we do a recording, I don't look at the stats for we record because I just, it comes up a bit more naturally. And obviously I watch the game because I remember all the emotion, all the frustration from when I was at BC Place a couple hours ago are coming back to me. So I can feel it.
Yeah, to have the numbers back up, or like a eye test kind of thing, right? It's like that was I guess a compliment to our misery today, right?
Yeah.
Just yeah, and the last couple things about the statistics. I mean, I'm shocked that well, for one thing, Hamilton got more penalties than us because they got 8 for 60 yards and we got 4 for 31. So it feels like the only way for BC to win is to commit a ton of penalties somehow.
4 penalties
Right?
is like fantastic, even though one of them was costly right at the end, the offside.
Yeah, which and
Oh no, not the
the
offside, the
PI.
pass interference. That's what I meant. Yeah, the pass interference. But 4 penalties in the whole game, that's amazing. But it wasn't enough because of 3 lousy minutes.
Yeah, like I said, you have 4 penalties in an entire game. You should win that, right? How? How is it that the amount of penalties BC takes is just the more they take, the better chance they have to win. It's like Lucario in Pokemon, right? You take more damage and the more
Hamilton
powerful you get.
Hamilton took like 2 penalties on that final drive of the game. They had like first and 15 twice, and yet,
Yeah.
they converted on one play each time, I think.
I was gonna say I feel like I wanted Hamilton to be backed up to first and 25 or 30 for BC to have a chance to stop them for punting, right? Like it was that bad how much the defense was playing prevent, right? Uh, time of possession though, I mean, like again, unlike the last game with Saskatchewan at like a decent chunk of others, it was like very evenly matched, right? Hamilton had 31 minutes and 25 seconds, and BC had 28 minutes and 35 seconds. But yeah, it was just again, it was just a full 60 minutes that Hamilton played, especially near the end, and it was just that's what killed us, right? And the offense had the one, you know, well, actually, the offense, as good as the offense played in this game, I mean, they did have like 3 2 and outs in this game as well, right? And including the one in the fourth quarter that ended up being costly, uh, 2 and out. But
It was a
uh,
strong, honestly, it was all things considered a strong game from the Lions, but it just wasn't enough because it was only a strong 57 minutes.
mm, yeah, it's just I mean we've experienced many flavors of loss this year so far, but most of them have never been over by the first half. But this was this one was like if one or two things went BC's way, I'd say they win this one, right? 100%. But yeah, I mean, hey, let's yeah, let's get into the game recap and let's just go through bit by bit about how because in order to make up for last episode we didn't really get into like what made the loss to Saskatchewan sting. We're gonna get into what made the loss to Hamilton sting here.
We
Uh,
only do the first quarter.
yeah,
The only bit that was exciting, or not exciting, as
but it
I don't
was
know what's the word for it.
it,
That's where all our scoring
illuminating.
happened. Yes. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah. So I I mean I'm watching this on the TV and JS, were you listening to it on the radio again or were you
I
watching it
watched
on?
the whole game, but I was just frustrated.
Okay, so yeah, it'd be fun if like the three of us had like 3 different ways to be watching the game. I was watching it on TV and then you'd be watching it on the radio
It
and
would be
then
funny.
Ammo live. Yeah, that would be that would have been like an
Still could happen
interesting
this year.
setup, but yeah. Uh yeah, so first quarter, two of TSN said, with the two of the highest scoring offense in the league somehow, especially in BC's case, right? That didn't feel like it for a couple games, right? But yeah, so we got like two of the highest scoring offense in the league, top two receivers as well, like Lawler and Hatcher, but we're in the top two in the CFL Pantheon. And I said, which means we're probably going to get a knock and drag out defensive battle instead. Like I was cynical at the start with like, okay, this is probably going to be like an 18-15 game or something. And then nope, it was double that. uh, but yeah, I was proven wrong, but good for the neutrals, not good for us. So yeah, Lalo averages 100 yards a game, which I mentioned. Shut defense did their job on Lalo at least, but uh I also noticed the Lions are wearing white pants with the black jerseys this time, and that combo didn't work out. So never do that
Um,
again. Uh,
I'm not the biggest fan
go
of
back,
it,
go,
to be honest. Go back to
go,
black.
go back to the orange socks as well because they won pretty good with that combo. uh, I mean, again, superstitions and everything, but uh, uh, yeah. So Seven McGee was set to return the opening kickoff. He returned the ball to the BC 38, and then TSN says that, well, apparently, Hammer, you attended the 1200th game in the Lions franchise history. So
Oh, awesome.
It's so exciting.
yeah,
Yeah.
big milestone game. I mean, hey, let's be here for. Well, I don't think we're gonna be here for like the 2140th, but that's gonna be like decades down the line, right?
Uh yeah, that's at least I'm not even gonna do the math.
That's another
40.
70 years. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be
Yeah.
alive by then. I'll be like 100. uh, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, 1200th game in Lions franchise history, and then Hatcher started to drive beautifully with catch for 14 yards on second down with a high point catch. But when the offense goes nowhere after Work gets pressured twice, he throws incomplete to force in the punt, even after a procedure call. So Wooden returns he got covered well on the punt return to the Hamilton 15. And then like the first play of the drive for Hamilton, Brugling catches the ball. He runs for 11 yards, but then he fumbles the ball immediately. And it was recovered by BC in the red zone. And it was barely like the ball was barely on the grass, right? Inside the
I thought it
field,
went
but
out.
BC was able to recover that. But I thought it wasn't gonna be a fumble, but it was. So yeah, we're like, oh yeah, good start. Yeah. Turnovers, defensive turnovers, that's what we want to see, right? Hmm. Uh yeah, you know, put Species offense in a pretty good position and then take advantage of that because Butler rumbles up the middle on second down to convert for 5, and then Ward fails to score of a touchdown on a first down scramble for 4 yards, but then Butler cleans up the rest of the yardage by going through the right side of a D line for the rare first quarter touchdown to go up 7-0 early. And I think rare because TSM again put up the stat where they only scored 14 first quarter points, which is the lowest amount in the league. And now at this point, we're at 21 points in the first quarter, right? So get like a 7-0 lead. We're feeling great. And uh yeah. So yeah, Moxie returned the kickoff very well. Like this is the first of actually no, I think this is Wooden again. Returned the kickoff very well to the Hamilton 49. Hamilton gets called for holding after Bell, catches and one for the convert for 12 yards, but Metro throws it deep to White for 35 yards to convert as he found a soft spot in his zone coverage. And you're gonna hear me
Oh,
say that
wow.
a lot. You're
Story of
gonna
the
hear,
game.
you're gonna hear me say a lot of that soft spot in zone coverage, especially with how prevent defense is. Like, uh, uh, yeah, the 35 yards, and then thankfully Blaylock does enough to disrupt the converting pass on second down because I thought it was going to be a touchdown drive in this one, but thankfully, Blaylock did enough to stop the second down pass to force Leggio to nail in a 40-yard field goal to shorten BC's lead to 7-3. Uh, so keep kicking field goals. Oh, sorry. Hatcher converts on a patch for 13 and first down on the ensuing drive, and then Work scrambles to the left side of the field untouched out of bounds to convert for 25, and then Butler runs for 23 yards to convert on back runs, and then they get to get into the red zone, and then they keep showing James Butler's mom in the stand, and I enjoyed seeing her be happy for her son, right? The TSN guys
Well,
did.
happy for him.
Yeah, and then it's as if Butler had a sixth sense of that because after they show his mom being happy for him, Butler then runs into the end zone again for his second touchdown. to extend BC lead to 14-3. So that's basically they got 14 points in the first quarter, which is like as much points in this game as they did all season in the first quarter, which is crazy, right?
Crazy and kind of sad at the same time.
Very sad, right?
I was saying like we were saying finally we got some first quarter points. Keep the momentum going. We've not had something like this.
Yeah, we haven't had like, just, well, not since the Edmonton game where we had like a fast start and continue it on. But
Yeah.
obviously we knew that Hamilton was a good team, and I thought that they were gonna, keep it close, and I was right. But uh, I was hoping that we would have like a stress-free game, but no, I knew it wasn't meant to be, because on this drive, Hamilton, well, on the kickoff after that touchdown, Hamilton actually does a neat little, pass behind, right? Like, during the kickoff return, like a switcheroo kind of play that helps get them to the BC 53. So, like, great. Special teams creativity, we'd like some of that right now, right? Lalo converts for 23 yards, and Lalo catches and converts for 23 yards directly in the sunlight when the roof was open for this one.
Impressive
Right?
effort to do that, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible of him to do that. Like, that's the catching in the sun is good. But yeah, Hamilton goes no further as Alway tackles Bell for a loss of 1 on 2nd and 3. But then on down, I think this was the first. I think, yeah, this was another thing that really frustrated me. The first of 2 deflected passes from Bowley by Mitchell that ended up in the hands of his receivers anyway, because he did it
Yes,
with Tim White for 6 yards and 3rd down. Right? Why
that was
can't we
incredibly
have that?
frustrating. Why can't we have the luck? Oh,
Augustine then converts on like an 11-yard one to get to 2 on the final play of the first quarter. And yeah, and again on that, yeah, first of 2 like deflected passes into the receiver is extremely lucky for them. Right. And when it comes to us, like all deflected passes, it always ends up being interception during completions, right? Just can't have that. Can't have crap in Vancouver, apparently. uh, so yeah. So that was the first quarter. Second quarter, I said predictably on the serve play, because they were at first and goal, they kind of struggled a little bit to get into the end zone, but eventually Dalagala in his revenge game of his own against us, because he was a third stringer last year, I think. Yeah, he scored the short yardage touchdown to shorten the lead to 14-10. The extra point was good. So yeah, I'm getting nervous still. I'm like, yeah, I
You were
knew that would
justified. In
happen.
the end, it was proven right to be nervous. So there you go.
Yeah, McGee runs the kickoff to the BC 31, and then Butler runs to that right side and converts for 17. But then here's another, like, here's another big mistake that I forgot about until I got to here. Like, Butler fumbled a sideline catch, so it kind of balanced the good he did with the bad he did, because he fumbled a sideline catch, and then Moxie returned it to the BC 40. And then there was a holding call after that fumble, so it kind of pushed him back 10 yards. But damage was done anyways. And on that Lions drive, like, I apologize to the both of you during the chat. I thought in my head, like, they're probably gonna turn it over on this drive, aren't they? And then they did.
oh no.
I am Doomer Nostradamus today. uh I don't like being Doomer Nostradamus. I'd rather be positive Nostradamus, right? But yeah, my worst fears came true. My thoughts came true, which I didn't want to at that point. But yeah, after that fumble, back-to-back first down conversion on passes get Hamilton to the red zone at the BC 12. Hamilton overthrows Lawler in the end zone to thankfully limit the damage to a field goal to get to 14-13. So, I was expecting a touchdown after that fumble too, but thankfully it was held with bend don't break again. But I want to do that so much. Yeah, on the Lions offensive or ensuing offensive drive, they go 2-0 and back-to-back runs, and then yeah, that was the first of a few that was remained like probably one of the big differences in this game. But Hamilton overthrew. Well, yeah, those back-to-back first down and conversions on passes to get Hamilton to the red zone at the 12. Oh, actually, no, I already said that. Oops. Yeah, Mitchell runs for 12 on the left side to convert on first down, and then Bell converts on the one to the left side for 11. Augustine converts on back-to-back first down convert. Like every time it was a first down, it was a first down after that, right? Like it was a gash from that constantly. Like this was the start of it for 10 yards. Mitchell, but thankfully on this drive, I mean, Mitchell overthrew Lalo deep on 2nd and 4 to stop the bleeding. They're forced to punt to McGee. And I can't remember like when McGee returned the ball too, but and it was at that point in the game where Hammer, you told me that Lalo was in the tent. He was getting his finger checked, but he
Yeah,
ended up being fine, right?
came back.
That's kind of what and get into another situation where it's beneficial that you were in person at the game so you could spot what was happening during the commercial
Yes.
break, right? So yeah, that's the first of a couple things that I'll talk about there. But yeah, Work immediately throws. Yeah, first play of the game, first play of that drive. Work immediately throws the Hatcher wide open in the middle of the field and runs for 73 yards. This was the amazing deep throw, right?
Found
To
so
Hamilton
much
15.
space. He ran a lot of those yards, just jumping over tackles. And when he reached, I don't know when he felt it, before the 15, he one hand pushed the Hamilton
Defender.
defender
Oh,
behind him, but the momentum caused him to fall forward. But still, 73 yards, incredible.
oh yeah, he got too fast, right? He got tripped up by the
Yeah.
turf monster. uh, yeah. So at that point, it was like, oh my god, a long play. Wow, I hope this ends in a touchdown, but no, it does not because McKinnis' touchdown attempt is incomplete. He caught the ball, but it was out of bounds, so it forced Sean White to kick an easy 21-yard field goal to extend the lead 17-13. I'm like, okay, it's fine, it's points, right? Keeps the goalpost moved a little bit, right? Uh, and here it was here that Lawler came back into the game. He had like tape on his finger, and they said that he had finger issues from the last game they played. I think it was against Toronto when they had that 50 burger, right? Uh, yeah, so he had tape on his right hand, and then Smith rushes for 11 on first down to convert. Uh, Bell runs for the right side and converts for 11 yards on 2nd and 4. And this was the absolute like highlight of the night in a losing
Highlight of the
effort on
season right there. He sticks his hand up, one-handed, makes
Carter.
the interception, and then he turns his body around to keep the ball from hitting the ground,
He
meaning
like
it
reached out
counted as
like
an
this, like
interception.
he reached out like this, like Superman, right? To just to
Odell
grab it and
Beckham
then
He
touch
Jr.
it
turned
to
his
his
body just
chest.
incredible. I actually yelled at the TV out of like shock when that happened.
Oh,
Yeah. BC Place went crazy, and I was still in my seat because I literally couldn't believe that he caught that. I'm just like, what did that just happen? My dad was up, the whole section was cheering. It was incredible. And saw it on the replay. That was the best catch we have all ever seen.
and I think what's kind of funny, I'm wearing like this hat too because I immediately that reminds me of Cedric Mullins, me watching Cedric Mullins
Mhm.
rob the Mariners in the ninth inning when I went to an Orioles game in
One
Seattle.
moment.
Right? Same one-handed crazy catch to stop from scoring. Right? Yeah, and it was also reminiscent of Odell Beckham Jr. But yeah, there's a similarity, and I think you know what it is. Odell Beckham Jr. and Carter Jr. having amazing one-handed catches. Right. So yeah, we were all like super jacked for that interception, right? I'm like, oh yes. And that happened late in the second quarter, so there was still time for BC to, rustle up a drive to get some points, and they did that, thankfully, because I if they had not if they had not marched up the field with Butler running for 16 yards and then Hatcher with some strong plays and McKinnis as well, but yeah, if they hadn't done those strong plays to make Sean White kick the 33-yard field goal to extend the lead to like 20-13 in the second half. I would have been so mad if they had wasted that amazing interception, right? They didn't. And yeah, we have a lead this time, 20-13 at the end of the half. And we actually did our conference call. We talked about that interception at length at
Yeah, at
halftime.
least half the call was about the interception. It was unusual to have a lead going into halftime, so that's what we were overly positive during the call. Um, yeah, don't think that
Yeah.
reflects
And
us
I
right
remember
now.
and I remember at the end of the game I said like, okay, we got to bring this one home. And to that extent, I'm going, this might be a down in a wire game, and I was right, but
Not in a good
uh,
way.
in a good way. But yeah, after that conference call, we're feeling good about that lead. And third quarter, Hamilton received the second half kickoff and Wooden returned it to the 45, so we had another great kickoff return. Jealous. Jelly. Smith converts a wide open pass to the middle of the field for 23, and then White converts for 24 on an under route to get into the red zone, like just like that.
Easy.
Like just 20 plus go too easy.
Reminiscent of all their drives.
Easy 2-down conversion on 30 yards, getting the goal to goal range, and then yeah, second and I think it was 6. Mitchell, I ran a little bit, and he barely got the pass off because like his foot was on the line of scrimmage as he shoveled the pass to Smith for 9 yards to make it a legal pass to tie the game at 20. So with the extra point being good, so yeah, that was like an inch away from not counting and being penalized, right? It could have been 3 points, but yeah. First of I remember 10 well, not 10 or 10 ply would be like an amazing defense, but 1 ply defense moment right there, and it would not cease. McGee returned the kickoff to the BC 35, and then Hamilton defender bites on a pass to Berryhill. He caught it. Like the Hamilton defender almost picked it off, but he missed the timing of it, and then Berryhill shoots off for like an extra bunch of yards for 35 yards to the Hamilton 50. Katoy converts on a catch for the left side for 11 yards, and then Rourke and Butler combine on ones to convert on 2nd and 3. An offside call on Hamilton pushed BC up 5 yards, get a press set, and also halfway into the red zone. But here, like, okay, like I'm expecting a touchdown here, right, to go up at least 2 possessions, right? But yeah, here Rourke gets sacked on first down for a loss of 7, and then Berryhill, he catches, he does like enough for 13 yards to make the field goal easier, but it wasn't a first down. So yeah, BC decides to play it conservatively to send Sean White out to kick a chip shot field goal, 23-20. So yeah, they get the lead back. And then on the ensuing Hamilton drive from the 40, O'Leary Orange nearly tackled for a loss. This was a frustrating play for me. Like he got almost tackled for a loss, but the tackling was so poor on that play that he got an extra 5 yards for that first down. Right?
Our defense has been bad at that all season. We think they're going to wrap them up for a loss, and then boom, they convert for 20 yards, or even if it's not 20 yards, they get a first down, right?
And then on top of that, Betts gets like an unnecessary roughness call to go up 15 yards. I'm going, why?
It's not just the structure. The state of our defense is so bad. We've seen previous weeks and also today the tackling has been awful.
Well, not only the tackling went off, but again, there's been no pressure on the quarterback. I have not mentioned in this recap that a defender pressure BC line defender pressures Mitchell to go outside. I don't think he barely had moments where he to run, right? Like all he did was stay in the pocket and just like boop, 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 right?
Yeah. My dad was like, oh, when's it our turn to sack their guy? Because that's not happened.
No kidding. And then Smith converts on a short pass for 8 yards, and another frustrating play. Mitchell, well, there was like pressure on Mitchell. He just got a pass away to the left side of the field for Augustine to convert for 9. Right. That ball looked a little bit deflected, but yeah, it was still ended up being a catch anyways. It's like when when we deflect their passes, it ends up being catches anyways. But when they do it to others, it's like mm. Yeah. And then on the final play of the third quarter, Mitchell throws incomplete to Lawler. He defended well by Peters to set up the field goal in the fourth quarter.
I thought that was
But
PI.
you thought that was PI, but
Hamilton luckily didn't challenge it, which I thought they would have won had they challenged it, but I guess they wanted to save it for later, and fair enough, because if you challenge and get it wrong, you can't challenge later. So I guess they didn't feel it was worth it. I thought they should have, but they didn't. So Lions got lucky on that one.
yeah, it ended up being a good call to keep that timeout anyways, right? I mean, yeah, I do think Scott Milanovich should have really challenged that, but I think it no harm, no foul if you decide to keep the timeout at least, right? But just
I also thought it was PI, and you mentioned the benefits of me being at the game. My dad and I noticed that Hamilton, they were considering challenging it. We saw them with the red flag in their hands, but they never threw it. And you guys texted me, asked, are they challenging it? And I'm like, I have no idea. They've been talking about it. And then we saw Leggio setting up for the field goal. So that confirmed it.
yeah. So yeah, I'm glad that you were there to tell us, what we didn't know with commercial break, right? 'Cause that's. But yeah, as you said, they brought out the field goal unit, and the Leggio kicked the field goal to tie the game at 23 all again. So again, still tie game, and then on BC's ensuing drive, Gatoy converts on a short pass for 12 yards. Bailey Hill gets tackled for a loss of 2 on first down, and then Gatoy only catches for 6 yards to force BC to punt on their second 2 and out of the game, I think it was. Yeah, not good when the Hamilton offense is like firing on all cylinders in this one, but yeah, Wooden returns the punt to the Hamilton 22. So yeah, Hamilton special teams didn't do much on that one, but yeah, then Mitchell avoids a blitz. He throws to Bridges for 5 yards, but Hamilton returns with their own. So this is the first 2 and out for Hamilton that they got in the fourth quarter. It was similar to how Saskatchewan didn't punt until the fourth quarter, the start of the fourth quarter, right? Again, it feels like similarities are really we're on the ugly heads, and it's like I'm noticing this often, right? Yeah, Hamilton gets a 2 and out. We're thinking, okay, good, that stops more of the bleeding. And McGee returns the punt to the BC 20 after an illegal block penalty. So yeah, he returned it to the 30-yard line, but then there was an illegal block penalty that pushed him back 10 yards. And Butler runs to the right side and converts for 13. Works for its incomplete to Abrahart in 2nd and 5. Yeah, this was the drive where Hamilton was constantly penalizing themselves on 2nd down to keep the drive alive. So this was the first of 3 times that happened. So work through incomplete to Abrahart in 2nd and 5, and then Hamilton went offside on the out count. Work through incomplete to McKinnis on 2nd and 10, but illegal contact on Stubblefield. Which was away from the play. So Stubblefield sustained, gets to penalize and sustains the drive against the BC. And the last lucky break for BC was that work through incomplete to Berry Hill. But Buck Pierce actually decided to challenge for pass interference, and he was unlucky. No, he was like 0 for 3 on pass interference.
First successful challenge of the year there. I think they were 0 for 3 before. The rule changes in recent years have brought the number of challenges way down, but he successfully challenged that one. And I thought it was PI right away. The subtle tug of the jersey on the opposite side of the ball.
Of the arm, yeah.
Not much, but it was clear, so they got that one. And it led to points when Sean White kicked a 45-yarder 30th in a row.
That was pretty good, yeah. 30 in a row, and
made it 26-23, but then it didn't matter in the end. But yeah.
Yeah, because BC takes the lead, and then much like the first play of the game for Hamilton, like Bell runs for 11 yards, and then he fumbled because Kent Jr. punched out the ball and Tehama recovered the ball to Hamilton 49. I was going, yeah, we're
Oh, nuts.
going nuts.
We had a lot of
But
hyped up moments in BC play today.
oh because after that fumble, like that was huge, right? That was in the middle of the fourth quarter, and then and then Eberhardt has his clutch meme catch here because
My
it was
favorite
on
line.
2nd and down, like he converted on a long catch to get up to the Hamilton 2-yard line. That was his first catch of the game, right? Plus Gene, man, and then BC eventually gets it so that Missouri can easily score on short yardage to finish up the huge touchdown to extend the lead to 33-23. And this was with 4 minutes to go in the game, and we're going like, yeah, and if a lot of things can happen in like 3 minutes, but a lot of things did happen in 3 minutes because
Yeah.
this is where the happiness ends and the pain, the biggest pain begins because
Yeah.
yeah, Wooden returns the kickoff to Hamilton 45, and then and then Mayo the punter uh, saved a touchdown of a tackle. Though that could have been even
That
worse,
was pretty
right? But it
funny.
was yeah, I
It's
love
funny
when
when the
punters
announcer
get their
says Punter Meyer tackles the guy.
I love it when punters get their day in the spotlight with a tackle, like a forced fumble, or even like a run, right, for a touchdown. No,
Pat,
if it's a
Pat
fake, right?
McAfee moment.
Yeah. So yeah, Wooden returns the kickoff to the 45, and then Miles saved the touchdown. Smith catches for 9 yards to get the short yardage conversion. Hamilton takes the touch. So yeah, this is where they decided not to challenge the PI, so they have that timeout
Extra
saved in the
timeout.
bank. Yeah,
But
an extra
again, they
timeout.
wouldn't have lost the timeout. They would have won the challenge. But either way, I guess they felt better saving it and good clock management to take it right before you lose it at the 3-minute warning. BC could learn a thing or two from that.
Mhm.
And yeah, 3-minute warning, BC's up by 10. You're feeling good about it, right?
Yeah, and then immediately after the 3-minute warning, O'Leary Orange is like wide open. He catches a deep shot from Mitchell for a 50-yard. Well, I approximated it as a 50-yard touchdown, but yeah, it just that felt like the beginning of the end.
Absolute worst case
Well,
scenario at that moment.
yeah, worst case scenario, right? Like, we were hoping like to stop them for a field goal at least and to make it harder for them to score the touchdown, but they got the touchdown to get the hard stuff out of the way first, right? And that's like, oh no, no, not now, right? Because us like me and JF, like we're veteran like CFL fans who were saying like, oh god, this is probably gonna go to overtime. Like I even said it then, like, oh, even when we're up sweet, like, yeah, this is absolutely 100% going to overtime.
But no.
McGee with a good kickoff return to the BC 43, so that's like his one quiet spot. But BC gets a 2-0, but I thought this was total bullcrap because the refs missed an obvious offside on Hamilton on 2nd down. And even the Lions offense was expecting like an offside call to happen, and it didn't. So it was a two
Rourke
and
The
out,
called out
right?
the refs in his interview post game for that. He said that it was an offside.
But
So
the moral is you play to the whistle. You can't assume that calls are going to be made. And as I always say, if the game is close and if you lose because of one or two iffy calls, it's your fault for letting the game be that close because bad calls are going to happen in every game.
That was
So,
just at the worst time, though, because
and
it's
that
like,
happens. But again, don't let
yeah,
the game be that close that a missed offside buries you like that.
yeah. I mean, in that moment, it was a bullcrap call, but yeah, again, like we've already sustained like enough wounds in terms of points that Hamilton scored on it. So like, okay, let's just short-term memory loss. Let's just hope and pray the defense can actually limit them to a field goal, right? Right?
Yep.
right.
Wooden returns the punt on Hamilton 21, and then the refs call like a makeup procedure, call on Hamilton O-line to push them back forwards. Uh, Offside on O'Leary. Well, yeah, Smith once again catches and converts for 10. Offside on O'Leary Orange pushes them back 5 yards again on first down, and then Bell catches and runs for 16-yard conversion, and Smith goes for 15. Deflect the
15, 15, too easy for all of them.
second deflected pass into the arms of a waiting Hamilton receiver for 9 yards. That's Lawler, right? For 9 yards. White on a short pass converts on a short pass for 7 yards, and then Hamilton calls the last timeout with 32 seconds left. What do you guys think about that? I think it's like I didn't think he didn't really need to
No,
do that to
that
give.
didn't make much sense once they're that close to the end zone. I thought BC should have taken a timeout to
Yeah,
save some time,
BC should have taken some timeouts at this point too, but they didn't.
but in the end it didn't matter. Hamilton scored the touchdown and they won.
Yeah,
I was too
because
angry to notice
over,
the timeout.
yeah, well, yeah, before they scored the eventual game-winning touchdown, like Hamilton had a fumble and one ruled of an incomplete pass with like a brief moment of relief, but then yeah, Smith just absolutely continued to kill us because he converts on a catch for 10 yards to the BC2, and then another kind of bull crap call, but it doesn't
Yeah.
really matter too much. But it was like,
I'm
hell, a lot
I'm
of
gonna
gets called for action on a pass interference.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna say something?
I want to yell into the clouds here because I know it doesn't matter at all. Haladic didn't even touch him. We saw 3 replays on the Jumbotron, and Haladic did not even touch the guy. The whole stadium was booing the ref, deservedly
Did
so.
BC still have
And
a
this is
timeout at that
so.
point? Did BC still have a timeout? I think we did,
We
right?
weren't able to challenge that. I was like saying, please throw
But
the flag.
why?
We
But why?
couldn't.
If we did have a timeout, we would have been able to challenge.
It was
Yeah,
not a
plus
challengeable call. So
What? It is though. It is. It absolutely is. I don't know why they didn't challenge it. Pass interference is reviewable. That's absolutely
accidental pass
challengeable.
interference.
but it was accidental pass
So
interference.
it doesn't
So
matter. That's absolutely reviewable. I don't know why they didn't. But in the end, I don't think it would have mattered. The
Yeah, it
2 yard
didn't
line
matter.
was the
Like
one.
we
It
went
yeah,
from.
would.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
it would have saved us, a few more seconds. Well, at least a yard or maybe a few more seconds. But yeah, again, in the end, Smith completes his domination over us because he caught a wide open touchdown in the end zone. And
Ball was thrown through the uprights.
nobody in the BC defense fought to back up and cover guys, right? And they were
Mhm.
all preparing for a run. Right? Nobody fought. Okay, like Mitchell was like doing pretty good with passes, but nobody fought to back up and cover some guys. But wow, and yeah, completed the Lions' collapse. I said because Hamilton takes their first lead of the game, 37-33, and then yeah, McGee like returned that kickoff to the 43, and then they attempt like a crazy Hail Mary, and then like there was like a punt by one of the receivers. I forgot who it was, but yeah, it was kind of like a silly kind of ending. But like I knew they weren't gonna win this one, and yeah, that's how it ended, right? Like wow, at 99% of the game, BC was in the lead, and it was like 16 seconds. It's over. Right. I just felt it in my bones, right? All of us felt it in our bones, and then yeah, and then yeah, boos rained down from the fans, and yeah, you were there, Hammer. You heard
I was
all
one
of
of
it.
them.
You were
Yeah.
booing along with them.
Very deserved.
I generally don't
And
like to boo the players because they do obviously put in the effort. I was pissed, and that was embarrassing. So
yeah,
I was
and
booing Benavides.
you'll notice that I have a TV with my TV remote here. I threw my TV remote hard on the blanket, and I've left it there ever since, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, booing
good times.
Benavides, like Benavides, I'm done with him, man. Like he's not a good
Time to go.
coach. He, I mean, he was a good head coach in his first year, but then ever since then, he hasn't been good at all, right? With different teams, and now ours for the second time, right? Or
No.
third time, because he was head coach and then D coordinator for a spell, and then yeah, D coordinator for again. But again, yeah, crucial loss
Not good.
because crucial loss, right? We had this in the bag with 3 minutes to go with like what 10 points, and then it just instantly just fumbled it that fast, right? Because this was an important loss because we saw Winnipeg lose last week, and they were just like rolling out the red carpet for them to take third place. Like, you take third place, Winnipeg. We don't want it, right?
I
Because
was saying like
yeah, BC
Calgary
falls
and
to like
Saskatchewan Might as well announce they've already clinched the playoffs. Winnipeg too at this point. We're
BC
battling the
is
East.
only, yeah, it's because who is it? Toronto and Ottawa, I think, are so lousy. Yeah, Toronto and Ottawa. The only reason we still have a chance at the playoffs is because Toronto and Ottawa are so lousy.
Toronto has 2 wins down. We're fast coming up on the Argos game in August, and that's gonna be an important game, no doubt, right, to keep us in that crossover hopes, right? Good. I don't see this Lions team sniffing the top 2 anymore. I think
No.
that dream's over with
And then we've
now.
got two against Ottawa in September. So the Toronto and Ottawa games are going to be massive to determining if we make the playoffs or not, which is depressing, but
Depressing
it is what
and
it is.
yeah, just BC. It again. They have nobody to blame but themselves for getting to the point in the season where now we're 3-5, right?
I gotta
Uh,
say one thing about the next home game. So I've got a bit of a personal curse going on. So bit of a reminder, the next home game is August 16th against Montreal, and August 16th is my birthday. And
Oh no.
historically, all my teams have lost to my birthday. So last year, I watched the Blue Jays lose in Chicago on my birthday. And
mhm.
when the Canucks played in the bubble playoffs, the only time I'll ever get a game on my birthday, they lost to St. Louis. I've also seen the Vancouver Canadians lose on my birthday. So the question is,
So
do I
we know
go to
what
that game? Do I go to that game?
I wouldn't risk it.
Yeah.
No, no,
Don't
no,
risk don't
no,
risk
we do
ruining it.
we do not want to risk like absolute domination against Montreal at home against
Yeah.
them, like yeah, and
So I want to
Mon
go to the game, but the last
it's
two
like
games I've walked out very unhappy. Yeah.
yeah,
So I'll have to make that decision.
and I think this game was like which was it was a fun question of which was the worst collapse. Was it last year's Hamilton collapse or this year? I think it's this one because it's just happened like that. Like instead of over the period of a quarter, like we had the lead and it was
Yeah.
tied for the majority of the game, and then 16 seconds, boom! But then they win. Like
That's a good question. I can't even compare it because both were so bad.
yeah,
And
both
Jacob,
well, yeah,
because you
both
were you
are
were there with me last year,
It was
and we were
atrocious.
leaving the stadium. We're like, man, waste of time.
yeah. Go back to our season 1 episode about that, and yeah, I'm sure you'll find some of the complaints in that one similar to us today, right? So the more things change, the more they stay the same. uh, yeah, so yeah, I didn't get to review preview games last week, and I'll do that now quickly. So the past few games in this week 8, Montreal actually came back to win against Calgary, 23-21. I turned the game off at halftime thinking Calgary was going to win that one, but yeah, Montreal scored a walk-off field goal, right? Kind of erasing the memory of the loss to BC in the same way, right? So thanks for beating Calgary, Montreal, at least. But yeah, and then the next game, Saskatchewan beat Edmonton 21-18. That was a tighter game than I thought it would be. But Saskatchewan has this habit where they keep Kansas City Chiefsing their way into wins, right? Where it's like it's always tight. Like they're never blowing out teams outright, except for that. Well, in essence, it was the game against us that they blew us out, but we kept it tight on the scoreboard, just objectively speaking, right? But we knew it was over. But yeah, I was hoping Edmonton would doing any given Sunday moment for that one, but no, it wasn't meant to be. So thankfully we have a team that's below us that's even worse than us, right? uh Still. Yeah, and Toronto surprisingly beat Winnipeg at home 31-17. Caleros got injured in that one, and I don't want to say it because it's 3-3 now, and I'm like, no, no, I refuse to put it. I refuse to say they suck. Because they're stuck right
Somehow
now.
played.
They're stuck right now, but I am begging the football god to keep making them lose. Right? Uh, and who knows, they might lose their next game too because they do play next week. But again, that's the Argos game that we'll recap for our bye week episode. But yeah, then I guess I did say we'll predict the week 9 games because that's going to be again, we're not involved in those games, so I'm just going to quickly predict those
I'll give you
games.
my predictions pretty quickly. They're all, except for the Saskatchewan Montreal, they're all pretty easy. I think we can all agree on the first three games: Calgary, Winnipeg, and Hamilton. I don't think there needs to be much debate there.
Yeah, Calgary's going to be playing Ottawa on Thursday. Yeah, I
Calgary will
think
beat Ottawa easy. Toronto
easy.
and Winnipeg. Winnipeg's only 3-3, but like they're Winnipeg, they're at home. We know how that's gonna go, I think.
They've won a ton of games at home, but yeah, I do think
Yeah.
they're gonna get their revenge in the Argos, but hopefully not. But
Hopefully not.
but that game is actually it's kind of a win-win for us, right? Because the Bombers lose, it gives BC yet another chance to jump over them, right?
Yeah.
But if the
I'm
Argos, yeah, if the Argos lose, then we still have a crossover, right?
gonna go with
Um,
Stamps, but I'm gonna go with the Argos. Just for the sake of when we need Winnipeg to somehow, I
mm.
don't know. I just feel like the
When you
Argos are
need
gonna
them
win
to
that
win
one.
for us, they crap the bed.
Yeah,
Winnipeg are
because
just, yeah.
let's
That's a
say we're
good
fighting the
point.
Argos for a crossover, and the Argos were very good last week. Um, Cats and I don't know, Riders, Alouettes, that'll be a good game. I think the Riders pulled that one out. They've been very good
Uh,
this year.
yeah, you were gonna say, well, Cats and Elks. That Cats should win that pretty easily.
Yeah,
Like
easy.
their defense is worth numbers. uh, yeah, and then yeah, the Riders and Owls. I mean, I guess I do think the Riders have at least the first two places in the West lockdown. So I do want the Riders to. Well, I mean, it'd be great if the Riders could lose, right? At least, but yeah, if the Alouettes lose as well, then they're going to go down to four
It's
and
better for
three,
us
and
if Saskatchewan wins. So I'm going to
yeah,
say that Saskatchewan will lose and Montreal will win just because that's how it goes for the Lions. We don't get what we need
I'm
ever.
I'm yeah, I'm going to say Montreal wins that game though. uh, yeah, so that's a brief week 9 preview and then predictions, and then yeah, then our next game isn't until like in the middle of August, right? Against this very Hamilton team that kicked our asses in the second half, right? And you know, the way we're playing at home, I mean, I kind of I don't have much faith in getting their revenge against them on the road, but I've been proven wrong. When they were playing Montreal, right? uh, it's just like this is the most important stretch of games, like the July to August, beginning of September. It's like the B stretch of games for you have to keep our heads above water, and BC is just not doing that consistently, right? Like we're just sinking more than we're swimming, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
that's how it
yeah,
goes. It's tough to find
that,
words.
yeah. So yeah, really, really bad taste. Like it was an overall cursed week, but an especially cursed day. I mean, we even had to pause in the middle of
First
recording.
recording.
Just yeah,
My bad,
just
guys. The gods they're on me today for being a Lions fan.
yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got like 2 hours left in the night, so hopefully there's no earthquakes that are gonna hit us.
Maybe
But
we can have an earthquake in 2 weeks, as in the Lions beating Hamilton. That'd be a nice earthquake.
well, yeah, yeah, you can
James
have
Butler
earth
beast mode.
beast
Yes,
mode,
please.
absolutely. Yes, we can just yeah have another revenge game on him, like 'cause, I'm sure that he had a great game for this one, but he wants to do even better. Like he wants like actually have a win. But team as a whole, like we need a win for the next time, right? And we're gonna have to wait for that for a while. But yeah, for now, we're just gonna stop, despairing from here on out. And right now, we're gonna, for once, we're gonna relax and hopefully, get an interview with one of you fine people for submitting to our forum and yeah, I'm excited for this bye week episode, and I think we need it because like we've been so mad at the team for a while, right? uh, you know, we can only be mad for so long before you can start to see grays coming out of my
You
hair,
start
right?
going insane.
We yeah, yeah, and we just end the season in straight jackets, right?
Oh God,
uh,
what am I going to be wearing in week 18, week 21?
we're 21. Well, I mean, we're gonna be one Canucks gear, but that's a straight jacket for us, right? Like
I'll be
we're
season over.
insane. We're insane to be Canucks fans.
We are.
uh, but yeah, so yeah, we hope to hope to hear from one of you, the fans, for next week by Saturday. Because yeah, again, the submission will end on Saturday at noon. But yeah, then we hope to hear from you, and then we'll discuss a time and a place for us to talk with you. So yeah, I hope to hear from you. uh, but yeah, that's going to be it for us today. But so we'll just drop our social. So we got like a Twitter, our Instagram, and our Blue Sky accounts in the description. And you can also like and comment and subscribe if you feel necessary, which we like it. I like seeing responses and everything. And yeah, and then we've got a Gmail account to email us long form if you want. So we got like a section 214 at gmail.com. That's SECTIONTWOFOURTEEN at gmail.com. And yeah, uh that's gonna be it for us today. So we hope to see you we'll see you
Yeah,
next
next
week for our
time.
bye week.
See you
Bye bye.
guys next time. Bye.
Bye.